We're about to begin the discussion that is titled Navigating the Turkish Business Landscape, with insights from African entrepreneurs who are living here in Turkey, our Nigerian brothers, our brothers from Cameroon, our brothers from Ghana. We have a rich panel, as you can see on the screen. I'll be inviting them soon to the panel with me, and we'll have a discussion, hopefully. I hope it will be fruitful and would also be entertaining some questions. If you have any questions, curiosities as to how to start a business in Turkey as an African and how to sail the ship in these volatile waters, I am hoping this would be productive. And we'll also hear from them firsthand as they share their valuable insight with us. So please, let's give a warm welcome to our panelists as I invite them to the stage, each of whom have made remarkable impact in their respective fields by bringing the African and Turkish markets together. Please, a round of applause for them. I'd like to invite to the panel Mr. Prince Sam Onuegbunam, I hope I got that correctly, the General Manager, Ikenga Turkey Marketing and Foreign Trade Incorporation. I've spoken at length with him. Please, a round of applause. I call him the octopus of businessmen. He has 99 problems, but marketing and network isn't one of them. Secondly, I would like to invite to the stage Dr. Therence Atabong, the CEO of Atab's Consultancy, the humble yet sophisticated gentleman involved in academics, legal bonds with institutions. We'll be hearing from him as well. Please. Thank you very much. Next, we have Mr. Stanley Ibekwe, CEO of Ibex Multi-Concept Limited, who I call him the health visionary for his effort in the health sector. He has a very inspiring story. We spoke at length, and I think what he is doing is not only serving Turkey or Africa, but could be a huge development for the world. Please, welcome him. And finally, we have Mr. Ifeanyi J. Anozie, the CEO of Amaga Holdings, involved in mainly textile, healthcare. He's also a physiotherapist. I mean, he's a true Swiss, a true Swiss knife, a jack of all trades. He'll also be with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to all our panelists. We'll just wait for the technical guys to get it done with. So today, what we're aiming to achieve is to get insights, valuable insights from these honorable men, these businessmen, very astute entrepreneurs with us today about how to navigate business between Turkey and Africa, how to make it in Turkey and other parts of the world, how to connect Turkey and Africa with the rest of the world. We have a few questions, but first, I'd like to start with a brief introduction. For those who were not here in the morning, my name is Abdulhai Aliyu Musa. I'm Nigerian. I am a digital news producer at TRT World, Turkish radio and television, and I'm going to be the moderator for this panel. I'd like to start with Mr. Ifeanyi Please introduce yourself.
I'm an entrepreneur from Nigeria. Also a physiotherapist working in health care sector in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we'll move to Mr. Prince Sam Onubenam. If I don't know if I'm trying to get that correctly. Mr. Prince Sam, we call him Mr. Ikenga.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Prince Sam Onubenam. I'm the general manager of Ikenga Turkey AS. I'm a businessman. I live here in Turkey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, Dr. Therence Atabong.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Therence Atabong, a doctor in international relations and political science. I'm a Cameroonian, at the same time a businessman here in Turkey. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And last but not the least, Mr. Stanley Ibekwe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stanley Ibekwe. I'm a Nigerian, a businessman here in Turkey and in Nigeria, and also a nurse in making. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give them one round of applause as we will begin our session. First, I would like to ask a question. Of course, I will throw the question into the sea. Whoever is the fastest fisherman or whoever would like to put their rope in, then they can go. What led you or what attracted you to do business in Turkey? Because we know Turkey is a big market. It's a very competitive market, and it's an advancing market. So what led and attracted you? How was your first impression?
Okay, I will answer the question.
Thank you.
Turkey the market is big, especially when it comes to branding. When you come to Turkey, especially when you go to inside the market or on the streets, you see people, they are branding, personal branding. That is one good thing about Turkey. You understand? So when you come here, also when I first came here, I was very, very interested in branding. I wanted to own my personal brand, and that is one thing the Turkish market is all about. They are very good at it. So I started my brand 5 years ago here, and since then it's been very good because their textile is very, very good. We are not the only brand in Nigeria or Africa as a whole, but with the Turkish textile, by now, in 4 or 5 years' time, we are one of the big players in Africa because of their textile, the high quality textile.
Okay. Thank you very much. Would anybody want to answer or give their comments or insights?
What attracted us to, personally, my experience is rather different. I have been doing business in other countries, Europe majorly, and before 2020, I realized that the exchange rate was becoming a problem, and since Turkey has almost similar quality with the rest of Europe, so I thought it would be wise to shift my operation to Turkey. So this is why I actually choose to set up a business here.
Thank you very much. Doctor?
Yes, my interest to do business in Turkey began since the very moment where the idea of the African initiative, Turkish African initiative was installed in 2005. So I started having this dream, this is an opening where Turkish business tycoons will be having them, like they'll be seeing themselves doing a lot of business in Africa. And this will be a win-win for both parties. So at that moment when I was doing my PhD, I noticed that the universities that I was involved with, they started having a lot of relations or mutual relations with African countries. And that instilled that zeal to do something for myself one day. So I started working with the international department of the university. We were traveling to other African countries to see how we could register students to come and study here in Turkey. And at that moment, I knew that there was a chance for me to do something for myself. So a little bit like 2 years later, I had to launch my own company, Afex Consultancy. And I entered into partnership with most of these universities. They wholeheartedly supported me, and that is where everything began. So from having partnership with the students, with the universities, bringing students to study in Turkey, I equally initiated the idea of doing business too, which resulted in import and export of goods from Turkey, considering that Turkish companies, they are maybe manufacturing a lot of goods which are beneficial to most African countries. So I said, why not try that? And I gave it a try, which today I must say I don't regret. And I will encourage everyone to give that same try. Thank you.
Well, that's a nice story to hear from him, because transitioning from the student life directly into business is not something that is very easy. Usually people do go through the pathway of, get a steady job first, get your feet firm on the ground, but you decided to go into business in a country like Turkey. That's not very easy. And Mr. Ibex, would you like to?
All right, thank you for having me. First and foremost, the ideology of business in Turkey actually came when I visited Turkey. The idea is always, what can we take back home? Africa, we know for ourselves that Turkey has, is ahead of us when it comes to what we have back home. And then one of the things that our current leaders in Africa did, or they are still doing, is to come to the Western world and live Western world here in Western world. But the idea was to come to Western world and take something useful and beneficial back home. So the ideology was coming to Turkey, seeing what they have, and knowing fully well that it's something that is needed back home. I decided to go into production to take it back home to help the people in Africa so that they can be in Africa and also enjoy Westernization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, definitely. The end goal is always to bring it back home. Absolutely. Because if we don't, who will? We need to develop ourselves. Just before this panel, we were speaking about the importance of education and the importance of acquiring knowledge. And this knowledge, it's an unending process. And for us to be able to empower those back at home, empower ourselves, our families, our surroundings, develop ourselves, our families and surroundings, we first have to develop ourselves with the end goal of taking it back home, with the end goal that our countries back in Africa are also recipients of our hard work here in these parts of the world. So I'd like to, now we're going to spice things up a little bit, because I was trying to give you guys, the little crumbles, the questions that are easy for you to navigate through. Now we'll go with the difficult ones. I know, coming from a country, a continent like Africa, and being an African entrepreneur who is living in Turkey, facing, economic hurdles for the time, How do you navigate and sail your country through these hard times? Because, as we all know, businesses do have turbulences. You would have your sunny days, you'd have your rainy days, and sometimes the sunny days can prevail, or the rainy days could prevail the sunny days over a long period of time. So right now, it's a bit difficult to start, initiate, maintain the momentum of businesses in Turkey. As an African, how do you captain your ship to stay afloat in the Turkish economic hemisphere?
You mean in Turkey or general?
Yes, in Turkey.
Just in Turkey.
In Turkey, and we can go general as well.
Okay. One of the things that make an entrepreneur is about being resilient and focused and hard work. So whatever situation the economy is now, like globally the economy now is bad, but whatever situation the economy bad, you have to like find a way to make it happen.
Yes.
Yes. So this period has been very difficult, especially the exchange rate has been bad. So, but when you have what the market wants, the market demand, especially, so when you want to do business, or maybe when you want to start up a business, you have to like know what you are going into. So whether it's bad or whether it's going well, like you have to like find a way to keep it going. So for now, like our own company, what we are doing now, we try to like find the focus, like the main thing customers what they want. So whether if price is going up, so we also be in business.
Definitely, we have economic hardships like aforementioned that's facing not only African countries but also in Turkey here, and the economy as well, like I said. And he said something pertaining to having a commodity that would always be in demand, a commodity that whether the economy is hit hard or it's stable, can always serve as a leverage for you to stay afloat when the economy is either dwindling or it's volatile. So, Mr. Prince Ikenga, would you like to share with us?
Yeah, navigating the challenges of the present economic downtown is not too difficult for a businessman. I remember we were speaking just before this panel, and somebody said, "How are you coping?" I said, "We are business people. We always adjust." So the beauty of starting is you need to ask lots of questions. Lots of people come to Turkey and they just jump into business without making adequate research as to what kind of business you should register. It's very important because in the end, if you take goods worth, say, $500,000 from Turkey for your company and you send to Africa, and either the exchange rate goes up or comes down, or the delivery was not completed, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. So, as you said, as an African here in Turkey, how do you navigate such challenges? It has to do with foundation. What kind of company are you running? If you are running an STI company, STI in Turkey is a kind of LTD, limited liability company. It means you are going to have a lot of liabilities when things go wrong. But if you register an AS company like I did earlier, it will cost you a lot of money. When things go wrong, it is not you who is going to be responsible, it is the company, because your company is a separate entity from you as a person. So I learned that early enough, and I made sure to start on a good footing. So when your business has a good foundation based on knowledge, you can circumvent and navigate any situation that the economy throws at you. So this is my own perspective, and it's working for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to recap what you said, basically asking questions, that is the primary job of, those who ask would receive. I think that is how the saying goes.
Yeah.
So when you ask, you receive. If you seek to get information, you receive, definitely. And also registering your company under the right identity is very important to stay afloat, especially if you are a foreigner in Turkey. You need to know your way around, how to navigate, because like I said, it's a very volatile economy, it's very competitive, and we have to ask those who have done it, the masters in the art, who have been here for a long time, in order to sail through the storm. Doctor?
Yes, economic challenges in a country is not the end of existence or human existence, because we do believe that every country across the world is facing economic challenges in one way or the other. What entrepreneurs or business tycoons should do is to have that passion on what they are out for. Considering the case of Turkey, of course, they have some challenges, like economic challenges, but it doesn't mean that the country is that down, because I instead see the country soaring, like they are boosting the economy in one way or the other to attract foreign investors. So, taking the case of Atabong, which is myself, I think that what made me to be able to keep pushing was the zeal, the passion I had for whatever thing I am doing to make my company stand. And also the relations that I created with the Turkish companies is very, very important. Having that passion and creating good relations. And those relations should be genuine, trust. Because if a foreign company trusts your own company, no matter the crisis at hand, there must always be a way. But if there is no trust, I think things will fall apart. You will see your own company crumbling, whereas things will be equally bad, not just on your side, but the people you expected to be benefiting from you. So in Turkey, we should always try our best to see how we can create mutual trust with Turkish companies, work passionately, without relenting our efforts, and also creating those connections, asking questions in areas where we think that there are limitations. Because without that knowledge, we will always fall prey. So if we have all the knowledge at hand on what we are doing, how we are doing, and where we are doing, then we will have a good path in front of us. Aside from that, we might come here, try to do business in a hurried way, and after a year or two, we see our companies falling again. So create good relations with the foreign companies, especially the Turkish companies. Encourage trust between two parties, and be passionate. Nothing should stop you. Even if the economy goes down to zero, know that one day it will go up to 100. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Afex, I see you've been smiling. It looks like this is something you're very passionate about, so would like to hear from you.
The truth is, Doctor here actually has spoken my mind. Specifically, relationship is everything. The relationship you create is everything, especially for a foreign country and a foreign company. At first, you don't know this company, they don't know you. It's a question of communication and then showing what you are in there for that will build this bond for them to understand you. Now, aside this communication and relationship, something that is very important that will fail most times to identify is purpose. Business should be all about solving problems. In as much as it is important to make gain or profit out of business, but it's very important to solve a problem. So, first thing is your business should be geared towards solving a particular problem. And until that problem is solved, that business keeps staying alive. So long as the purpose of your business is alive and active, so long as you keep solving a problem, so long as there is a gap that you are trying to fill, irrespective of the economy, irrespective of whatever challenges, you will keep going. It's obvious that you may not go at the speed that is expected, but you will stay alive. And for every business, the most important thing is staying alive. Keep moving until you get to where you want to get to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would want to build on that. So you said something about purpose, and now I would put you guys a little bit on the spot. Speaking about purpose, I've spoken with you outside, and your story, I resonated with you. I've spoken each and every one of you, and you've told me, briefed me about your business, what the purpose behind it was, and where you're planning to take it to. And I would like for our viewers, our guests here, to have a glimpse or an idea of what your purpose is, as to why you ventured into the business that you are in today. So, could you briefly tell us why you've gotten into your business? Maybe we can start with you, since...
Okay, for Afex product, actually, like we deal on men underwear, boxers, singlets. We deal on men's underwear. The main purpose why we actually started the business is solving a particular problem. And what is the problem? The problem is the toxic materials that is used in producing what we put on, which implies that most times people go to the market and buy a product not knowing that they are actually buying something that is really dangerous to themselves, their skin, their health, and their future. Making research today, cancer has taken over so many lives without even knowing. A lot of people don't even know that they've been diagnosed of cancer. One of the reasons for that is because of what they wear, what they put on, especially the underwears. The underwear is something that touches the innermost part of our body, and most times when the product is made with toxic materials, canceric materials, because of the want of profit, without knowing, people don't actually know that they end up destroying their own body and their own life. So the idea here is coming to Turkey, saying what they are doing and how standard it is and how important they look towards health. Actually challenged me in person to also go into the field of nursing to understand what the health is all about for them. Having done that, I also realized that there is need to take back something home, which is looking into the field and understanding that cancer has eaten so much on people. And then we decided to start producing a healthy outfit, healthy underwears, so that we will start solving the problem. Because talking about it is not just enough. Telling people to check themselves to ensure that they are healthy is not enough. But also trying to give them what is healthy, to keep them healthy. That is the next stage that we are looking up to. So for us in Afex, we decided to help the world, to help our people by giving them a healthy material, something they can put on and then become healthy. In the world of underwear, there's a lot of categories. Now, for someone that wants to put on something free, there is a category of underwear you should be putting on. And then we are looking at making sure that we give all of it. There is an underwear for going for swimming pool, then an underwear for sleeping. There is different types of underwear, but most people don't really understand why it is important to put on what you need to put on for your own comfort. So the ideology for Ibex is for the comfort of your skin and for your own health, which is why we actually started producing Ibex underwear to contribute our own quota to the health of the people. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for our brother. I mean, isn't it so fascinating that something so small, something so minimal, something we sometimes don't pay that much attention to could have such a magnitude of an effect on our health? I'm very sure that underwear, yes, it's something that is essential for every person. But again, he has mentioned that these can also be cancerous because certain companies would like to benefit from this by endangering the lives of people. And he is struggling to combat this. As he aforementioned, there is an issue, and he's trying to find a solution, which is one of the tenets of a successful business. Thank you very much. Doctor?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity once more. I'm going to address this in two phases. The first one being the area of business. One thing that drew my attention in doing what I do was security. Looking at the case of Cameroon, where major cities, it's very easy for thieves to break into someone's house and get whatsoever thing they want. I deemed it necessary to say that, okay, what about maybe coming up with some sort of security doors, because I noticed that Turkey, they have good security doors, which is something that most of our countries don't have. It doesn't mean they don't have doors. Of course, they do have doors, but comparing the quality of the doors is one thing. So I decided to start exporting those doors to African countries, like from here to Africa, especially Cameroon, which at the end of the day, a lot of consumers appreciated that fact, and they confirmed to me that they have really been saved through these doors. Though it's a little bit expensive if you think of the VAT and all the transportation, you see that there are challenges in terms of finance. But what I tried to do as well was to have more collaborations with the Turkish companies that I work with. So we did our best to give more subsidies on the doors that we were exporting. I remember 2 years ago we exported about 200 doors to Ghana, and it was quite a big show for them, because the recommendations that we got after that were quite huge. And it wasn't just about money, but it was about doing something that the people like. Because if they like what you're giving, the things that you're giving to them are beneficial, it makes you feel elevated as well. Now, coming to the educational aspect, my company equally has a partnership with about 15 universities in Turkey, where we directly do admissions for students from across the world, especially from Africa. This is to help them not to stress themselves so much, because we came to realize that when some students are eager to study here, but the procedures are very complicated. So we took it to ourselves to make things easier for them by having partnerships with these universities. They gave us the go-ahead to do all the admissions and everything. So what happened is that the student passed through us, submit their documents to us, we do all the necessary things that are supposed to be done, and they just go to the school for the final registration without further maybe inconveniences. So we have really facilitated things on behalf of the students. We went ahead to even have maybe arrangement with with hostels to see how they could have a good place to stay. Some of our members do pick them up from the airport and make sure they don't go through the hell we went. Because I remember when I just came to this country, I think in 2015, it was quite challenging. We had to do everything by ourselves, and the rate at which foreigners were here wasn't that much. We had very few foreigners, especially from Africa. So we had to do things by ourselves, and it was quite challenging. So any person coming here for business or school is very lucky, because we have great businessmen here who can easily show you the way to maybe identify whatsoever thing you're out for. If it is maybe buying equipment or having your own brands, they can easily show you the way. Always make sure that you have someone to rely on, especially someone trustable. If it is education, we are equally there to see that our kids coming to Turkey don't face the difficulties that some of us did. Thank you so much.
Absolutely agree. Security and education, one of the big issues we have in our countries, especially, when he spoke about doors. I can't count how many times that, your doors get knocked. If you don't have a strong, viable door, especially when you're in Nigeria or in another country, it's very much possible that that door can be brought down. So it's very important. And I think the other one, which is education, this is a big one. Many people have been, as you already know, scammed, that they would get, their university without any, they're going to get direct entry, or they just have to pay a certain amount of money, and then they would somehow segue into the university without completing any registration process, but find out later on that that person just scammed them. It's important to have people, trustworthy people in the country of residence to help facilitate and expedite these processes. Mr. Ikenga?
Thank you very much. For me, the purpose of my Ikenga Turkey is acquiring customers. That's our purpose. And I will explain. When you acquire customers, you can sell them anything. Many people sitting here, they have iPhone, they have iPad, they have MacBook, and we model our business after Apple, because once you become Apple customer, they can sell you anything. So now Apple is the biggest record label holder in the world, because once you have a music, whether you are known or you are not known, you go and put it on, Apple Music, and then you start getting paid. Apple wakes up every 10 months and then comes up with new model, and people queue to buy this product. So we realize at the beginning that to succeed, you need to first of all acquire customers. It's not about making money. Once you acquire customers, once you develop trust, you can sell people anything. You can be dealing with, like Dr. Atabong said, he bought dough from somebody. If he becomes friends with the producer of the dough, the producer is going to call his brother who produces probably this Nasli water and said, I have a friend. So we try to, first of all, it's on our website, we try to first develop a relationship with our partners. Then business comes second. We never go to any company or any meeting and then first thinking that, okay, I'm going here to make money. When we started in 2020, what we did was try to get to know as many people as possible. We traveled to almost over 70 cities in Turkey, by road, by air, by train, and we developed such a large network such that there are no villages where you go to, or cities, major cities, and you say Ikenga, everybody knows the name, even people who have not seen. Why? Because we try to, first of all, create a presence try to become friends, and then after that, business can follow. So we are our purpose at our company is first of all developing partnership. When we become friends, then we can talk business.
Thank you very much for your valuable insights. As I said, network, network, network. As I aforementioned and addressed him as the octopus, and he has 99 problems, but network is not one of them. We've spoken at length. He has been in Turkey for a very short while, but his catalog of network is almost second to none. So our brother Ikenga, he knows the Turkish market in and out. He knows who is where. He knows who is doing what. So from the way he speaks, you know he knows what he's talking about. And it's very refreshing to hear that we Africans, we can hear and see Africans here making it, establishing a life for themselves, not only academically, but also business-wise. And they are in a place where they can also give advice, they can offer consultation to people who are aspiring, people who also want to be in such positions, people who also want to do better for themselves and their families. That's why we've called them today in front of our dignitaries and you distinguished guests to give us, advice on how to navigate in such hardships. Mr.
Okay. Thank you very much. My main purpose, I wanted to own a brand. Yes.
Okay.
So I lived in China before. When I was 20 years, I went to China, and I lived there for 7 years. So when I came back to Nigeria, I see those, like we buy the normal regular markets that people will go to China and buy. I was dealing with on telephone.
Okay.
So we built it from the scratch, and the Chinese people, they will go back to Africa. The people we sold to, they will take a larger quantity of it, and then they will go to Africa and they will sell to our customers. So when I went to Nigeria, I said, which country is the best for me to go for branding so that I will own my own brand, my own product? So I came to Turkey. I was looking at that because I don't have enough capital. So I said, what is the cheapest thing I can buy that I can produce maybe later? Because I was thinking about the long-term benefit of it. So I said boxers and singlet, which is like, then you can get it for like maybe $0.8 for one piece or $1. So I went to the Eminono market. So I will get a boxers, like unbranded boxers. Then I will go to people that do printing. Then I will get the label. Then I will go to people that does packets. I will do the packets. Then I will go to a local tailor. Then he will put the label. Then when I go home, I will pack it by myself. Then I will give the cargo at Yenikapi at Aksaray. So I was given to supermarkets, boutiques, and markets. So one day, someone from the market, like the popular Lagos Island market, he called me, he said, I saw your brand in the market. How do we do this? You understand? So he brought money because I wasn't having enough capital. So he brought money, a huge amount of money, and I partnered with him, like an investor. Like I partnered with him, then we started producing in big quantity. And from there, but one thing I would advise people, like when you want to do business, especially in Turkey, just try to maybe buy a franchise from Turkish company, or maybe own a brand. A brand you can start from scratch. You never know where it will go to. And today, by grace of God, we are one of the biggest brands after maybe, let's say, after the BYC products in Nigeria or maybe in Ghana. Our Amaga is one of the biggest brands in men underwear in Africa. So after then, I went into the university. I studied physiotherapy in Finabesha University. My main aim of going into healthcare, number one, we are building a company, a holding company, not just textile. We want to expand to other sectors like the healthcare. And later, by grace of God, we go into food. Yeah, so I entered the university, I studied physiotherapy, so I can go into healthcare properly. So after then, when I graduated, I tried to get one brand, one product. The medicine is for arthritis. That is because I know in Africa, a lot of people, they suffer from arthritis. So I brought in the medicine, but now we are still trying to find a big market for it, just like what we did in the textile sector. So one thing I will advise people, when you come to Turkey, Turkey is a very big market when it comes to branding. That is one of the best countries you can go and start a brand or maybe buy franchise from companies that are here that are already existing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaking about advice, now we're coming to a close. We don't want to take it too long. I would entertain one more question. It will be final. Since he spoke about advice, I would like to, very sorry, just one more question, and after that, very brief. People who are planning to open business in Turkey as Africans, if you have one advice you would give them, what would it be? Let's keep our answers as concise as possible just because of the factor of time, so we can take a question from her as soon as that is done. Mr. Ikenga?
The advice is the same. Before you go into anything, try to find out what is obtainable in that market. If not, you are going to end up in big trouble because the arm of the law is long and patient, and it will get to you. It doesn't matter how long it takes. So if you are starting a business, instead of just finding somebody and giving them $100, $200, say, register me a company, they will take the money and register you a company until you find yourself in hot water. So any business you want to do, try to find out the legal aspect of that business because it's very important. And you can get legal advice from even free of charge. If you have a lawyer that you can go to Mehane. Mehane is a Turkish bar. And then you buy rakia, and then when you are drinking, you ask one or two questions. It is very important. And then, of course, you can make your own research. Google has made things very easy. So just find out the nitty-gritties, the details of what you are doing before you get into it so you don't get into trouble.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ikenga. Doctor?
Yes, the advice I can give is that we should bear in mind that there is so much competition in this market. And when you have that in mind, before going into it, be aware that you will face challenges. And if you have that notion of facing challenges, then you're set to go. And also, it's very important to understand the cultural and the country's landscape. Because before diving into something, some of us just have the eagerness of making money. They end up losing everything, even with the capital that we have. So we should understand the people, we should create that trust with the companies that we are out for. Without trust, there is a big problem. We should also think about reliability with those people. What am I offering? What am I gaining? For what purpose? How beneficial is it for me and my people and the entire community? When you have those questions in mind, then you will start seeking answers, which I believe that if you meet the right sources, understand the legal procedures of the country, you'll be able to blend in, no matter the challenges that comes your way. Thank you.
Thank you too. Mr. Ibex.
Oh, okay. It's simple. Just like I said earlier, think home. We left home to feed home. So you must think home. What am I taking back home? Aside the profits or the benefits, what problem am I solving back home with what I am doing? So if you want to set up a business or you are into business, always remember of solving a problem. What problem will I solve? What problem do I intend to solve? So long as there's a problem, you can't stop working until that problem is solved. And then remember who. Now, one of the purposes why you are here is to bring back better life back home. We have a lot of leaders that travel around the world and bring back nothing back home. Don't be like them. Set an example that others can emulate. What am I taking home? What problem am I going to solve? What challenges is my people facing that I intend to solve? If you have these things in mind, believe me, profit will definitely follow, and you will go a long way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That concludes our panel. I would like to solicit for a huge round of applause for our panelists. Now, we will entertain maybe one or two questions for our panelists. Please.
Thank you very much. My name is Sonia Toro. I am the Executive Director of the EU-Africa Chamber of Commerce. And what we do, we assist some projects, both private and public projects, in their journey towards accessing finance. I am from Côte d'Ivoire, so I'm Francophone, so bear with me with my English. My question to the panelists, and thank you very much for all the insight that you gave. And my question is just, what about your experience in accessing finance here in Turkey? Is that easy? Private investors, all those kind of things. For me, it's my first time in Turkey, so I don't know at all the ecosystem, so I would like to know more on that specific aspect of access to finance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So what we will do, because of time, it's a question that is right now afloat, so we would have one of our panelists to answer it. So we would close it, and after that, we'd move to our second panel. They are here waiting, so we don't keep you waiting too long. We'd get through it as soon as possible. So who would like to answer this big one? It's a big one.
Unfortunately, I didn't hear what she was saying. The mic was...
I think it's a first time in Turkey, and she's curious about financing, how to source financing for someone who is going to start a business in Turkey, correct? Yeah.
Okay, this is very, very, I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's very straightforward. Turkey has Turkey Exim Bank. Exim is EXIM, Exim Bank. Exim is Export-Import Bank. China has, Africa has. So to finance a business here is very simple, but you need to know, because if you don't know, that is why I advise people, when you go to a place, try to identify with the people who own that place. You don't, if you are in Nigeria, you come here, you go and join a Nigerian group. What are you going to learn? So why don't you join your group in your country? Why come here? So, and they think it's pride. It's not pride, it's trying to learn. Now, if you are a first-time business person, you can, Turkey Exim Bank can finance you up to $200,000 for the first, for your first export. But again, you also need to find a company in Turkey that accepts Turkey Exim Bank letter of credit. So, for instance, if you are from Nigeria, Afex is in Abuja and Lagos. So if you can get a letter, and you don't even need to go to Nigeria. If you have a bank in Nigeria, you can tell your bank, I'm importing from Turkey. You don't need cash. We have done businesses, I've helped people close businesses, $1.5 million. They don't need cash. They get a letter from Afex Bank to Turkey Exim Bank. Turkey Exim Bank guarantees them against the producer, then the producer will ship. So this is the easiest way you can get. Of course, you can find some companies that are ready to give you goods, but it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. It's not easy these days, but this is the easiest way, and both banks guarantees you against loss. Yeah.
Okay, we have. Sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
Sorry, I just follow up the question with your answer, actually. Do you need any collateral for the Exim Bank to provide you with the funds? Or is just go and...
Which of the Exim Bank?
Both of them, the African one, the Nigerian one, or the African one, or then the Turkish one?
No, the Exim Bank in Turkey don't really care about you. They don't know you. All you are going to bring for them is a paper from Afex Bank in Africa. They don't know you, they don't care about you. And once you give them this paper, they are going to send the money to the producer to send the goods to you. So where you have challenge is between your bank in Africa and the Afrexim Bank in your country. So if your bank can guarantee you, then Afrexim Bank, because they don't accept letter of credits from African banks. But for instance, Nigeria, there's First Bank, there's Zenith Bank. They have branches in UK and New York. So if you can get letter of credit from either of these two banks branches, either in London or New York, you are good to go. You don't even need Exim Bank. They will accept letters of credit from those guys. So, but every other thing, if you need more technicalities on how it works, then you need to consult business people like us, and then we charge you money.
Sir would like to ask a question. I think that would be the last.
So thank you very much, and thank the panelists for the insight. But the point I want to make is that this morning we indicated that Africa was presenting very favorable investment climates to attract investments in Africa, including tax incentives, including simplification of permit acquisition processes, including reasonably cheap labor, and so on and so forth. What peculiar business incentives exist in Turkey that encourages foreigners like Africans to invest in Turkey? That is one. Two, what mentorship mentorship program? We have a lot of big Turkish businesses investing in Africa, and so investment is growing. How are the Turkish businesses mentoring, benchmarking businesses in Africa in order that they will grow and will be growing together as Africa and Turkey together? These are the issues that I just want us to
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know, did you get the questions?
I don't get the question.
Okay, so the first question, if I understood it correctly, is in the morning.
Incentives.
Exactly. In the morning, we spoke more about Turkish people investing in Africa and the opportunities in Africa. So, what would be the incentives for Africans? You know, it's going to be reversed. And the second one, also, what type of mentorship that are being given to people here about Turkish businesses in Turkey. So, who would like to take that one?
Doctor,
Okay.
do you want to? Okay.
First and foremost, like I said earlier, solving a problem is really, really very important. If you have an ideology of solving a problem, you will go far. Now, coming to your question, just like Tony Elumelu will always say, have you been able to make a bankable business plan? A business plan that can work? Have you studied what you want to do? A lot of people want to do business, but if you ask them structurally, technically, what they want to do, how they want to navigate it, how much is needed, how much and how long will this money be recovered. They cannot tell you. But they just believe, I need $200,000 to do business. Yes, you need it. But how do you get it back? How do you make it grow? In the course of writing your bankable business plan, you should also make a provision, a place for problems. Because at the end of the day, we make business plans without thinking of the problem, the possible problems that will come up. We don't involve them. And that's one of the disadvantages or the limitations or weakness of what we intend doing. So most times, most people want to give you that benefit of doubt. They want to support you. They want to encourage you. But then the feasibility of what you are saying is not guaranteed. So when you say, I want to do business and I need probably, let's say, $100,000, and then you will see someone say, I'm going to get this money ready in 6 months' time. What is the feasibility, the possibility, the authenticity of that information? And most times, people don't really look, you don't come into a place with no knowledge or no idea and want to do business. Just like my colleague said, you must make proper research of what you want to go into. If you understand what you want to go into, start small. People are always scared of starting small. They want to start big. Majority of the big companies we'll see actually started very small. And then at a time, someone joined them. They got investors, they got supporters, they got aid. If you go to a Turkish company and you are telling this Turkish company, I want to start producing this, and then he's asking you, have you produced it before? No. Do you know how it works? No. Do you have an office? No. Do you have a place? No. Do you have a business name? No. Then they may not really take you serious. But then you must have done some background work on your own. And then it will interest someone to also invest. So talking about investment, incentives, and support, the first question is, have I done my own job? What have I done? And then most businesses die within the space of the first 3-4 years. So you don't expect you started business today without so many experiences, and you think someone that have worked all his life to just invest there. You also want to see how far you have gone. You must have suffered some challenges and survived it to prove that you can do this. Then people will be motivated and find interest in actually what you are saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure if your question has been answered. Okay, thank you very much. And I think in the absence of no other questions.
I have a question, actually.
Okay, that would be the last one. Let's keep it as succinct as possible.
Sure. Thank you all for this participation and for your speeches. It's been very delightful and informative. Thank you all. My question is actually for people, for business people coming from Turkey to Africa, from the perspective of these respective gentlemen.
Sorry, could you speak a little bit louder? It's a bit difficult.
Can you hear? I don't know.
Mikrofon? Pardon. Mikrofonun sesini biraz açabilir miyiz? Evet, tamam.
Better now?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, from the perspective of these respective gentlemen, business people, what do Turkish business people lack of once they want to make business, any business in the continent of Africa? That's a general question, I know. I'm asking this question because I am also on that edge in this very moment. I am willing to make business in Africa, and I don't know how I can penetrate into market, which country, which people, I don't know. That's a big question mark. So according to their experiences, what they would suggest for a new entrepreneur coming into Africa market, and what might be the consequences of failure? Thank you so much.
I will answer the question.
Okay.
First of all, Africa is a big place. It's a very big continent. And only Nigeria alone is like 260 million population. Then coming to Ghana, Kenya, Congo. So Africa, especially Nigeria, is a big place and it's a good place for business. So when you come in, you try to identify the markets, like the type of products you have. Example, if you're into textile, you have to go to a particular place, like this is what they sell here, like Lagos Island. Then when you are into like communication, you have to go to where they sell this. Then you have to meet the big players. And from the big players, you give to them, then they give to the retailers. Like when you come in, like you have to go to the big distributors. Then they sell to the casual, like everyday people, like people coming to them, because they are the ones that have the market. You cannot just come in as a foreigner to enter the market in Africa or Nigeria. You come, you meet the people that have been there already, people that understand the market, people that knows the customers, then meet with them, discuss with them. Then it will be easy for your product or your business to excel in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. Basically, if you're entering the African market, you go through the door and not through the window, because we have the gatesmen at the door, and if you go through the window, it is tantamount for you to, face difficulties when entering the African market. I would like to thank you all for your patience, for listening to us in this first panel. We will have the second panel immediately. They are all here. It's about digitalization in Africa and how digitalization is shaping narratives in Africa. With us here, we have journalists from TRT and other institutes that would grace us. But before that, please let's give one last round of applause to our able panelists.
Thank you.
As we send them back to their seats, I would like to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
With us today.
Okay.
Please, one last round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.